Hey folks, welcome back to Green Iron TV. So we're going to hit on a topic today that I've gotten asked quite a few times, and that is, how do you jumpstart a dead military vehicle? So military vehicles are 24 volt, so you just can't jumpstart them with your regular family vehicle. So it takes a little bit to do it. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go over the proper way to military jump a dead vehicle. So, like always, take a moment, give us a like, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate every little bit. But sit back and enjoy. Okay, so to properly jumpstart a military vehicle, you're going to want to use what's known as the slave receptacle. And these are tied into the 24 volt electrical systems on military vehicles. So the slave receptacles were not standard on the vehicles. These were actually part of the Arctic kits for the vehicles because starting vehicles in the sub temperatures and freezing temperatures gets a little difficult. So it was made to be able to jumpstart in the cold temperatures. Well, it became so prevalent that people started putting them on the military vehicles all around, and it just makes for a great way to power up a vehicle when the batteries are dead. So this has a cap that screws on, and this is the older style, and this is what's known as the 2-pin, and you actually have a positive and a negative pin, and these are tied in. So on this 725 ambulance and the 715 trucks, so of course the negative runs to the frame and it's grounded to the frame. The positive runs to the positive lug on the foot starter switch. And of course on some of the other vehicles, some of the older vehicles, the positive actually runs to the positive on the batteries. So there are some variations in that of how to hook them up. So you can always look in the owner's manuals for the particular vehicle if you're trying to hook one up. And of course, I have shown you how to mount one of these. Matter of fact, on one of these ambulances. So we can put a link to that episode down in the description there. And there are two styles. So this is the older 2-pin style, and sometime in the 80s they came out with what they call the NATO standardized plug, and it has one big center plug and it grounds around the outside. And that was to basically standardize these plugs between all the NATO nations so that you could jumpstart vehicles between different countries and so forth like that. So, which one you put on your vehicle is going to depend on if you want to portray the era correct, or if you just want to have a port to be able to jumpstart the vehicles. So I have these on all of my vehicles, and it makes it really, really nice. That way you can basically jumpstart any vehicle from any of the other vehicles. So it works really, really nice. I may always make sure that I have a slave cable with me when I'm at a show or a parade and stuff like that, because I always have multiple vehicles. And I have had before where we pull up to a parade for staging and somebody forgets to turn off lights or something like that, kills a battery, and so we've had to slave jumpstart them. I've had at a show people fiddling around and have flipped a switch and turned a battery on and killed it, stuff like that at shows. So it's always nice, especially if you have multiple military vehicles, to put the slave receptacles on the vehicles and keep a set of the jumper cables, slave cables around. It just makes it really, really nice. And if once you do this, it makes it nice and easy to be able to just jump any of the vehicles. Pretty simple to add on, and really, really comes in handy. All right, so this is my set of slave cables that I have, and of course this is known as an inter-vehicle power cable. And this is a 12-foot set. These sets are they're fairly expensive to buy when you find them. So if you find a good deal on one, definitely snatch them up. They are very, very heavy cable. And of course, so you can see the 2 pins here, and that's because this is an adapter, and there's the single pin. So this is actually a modern set that has the single pin, and so you can have single pin, the grounding around the outside, and this is a common adapter that's pretty readily available. It was available in the U.S. military to allow you to convert the 2 pin into a single pin so that you could use any types. So it's a really good setup to have. Even if you have, I have all the 2 pin on all my vehicles. But it's really nice to have because to have a modern set with the single pin, because you can take care of any vehicle. So I've had it here. I've been at a show, and a guy with a modern Humvee with a dead battery, and we were able to jump start him from one of my vehicles because he had the single pin and I had a dual pin, but we had all the adapters, and we were able to hook it up and make it work. So we'll show you how this all fits together and how you attach it into the vehicle. Okay, and with this 2 pin, because the offset design, there's only one way for it to go together. And so when you take the 2 pin adapter here, so, and of course it's just gonna slide right in and connect. So that vehicle is ready, and we can run the cable off to the other vehicle and jump start if need be. So all in all, this is a pretty simple system, and it's pretty foolproof to keep you from shorting out a vehicle. So it is a lot easier than trying to jumpstart a dual battery 24-volt vehicle by trying to hook up multiple jumper cables and stuff like that. And of course, even on stuff, so like on the 725 ambulance, the batteries are in the back and underneath, one of the stretcher areas. So running a conventional set of jumper cables into there is near impossible. So having the slave receptacle makes it nice and easy to be able to hook up, jump start a vehicle if a vehicle dies. So like I said earlier, if you have multiple military vehicles, I highly recommend you pick up slave receptacles for them, and then search out and find one of the slave cables from one of the vendors. You can usually find them, especially at the big shows and stuff like that. You can usually find them. I know that they have gotten incredibly expensive over the last couple of years, and I know there are people that will build their own. That you can buy. You can buy these ends from a couple of vendors, and then source out the heavy gauge cable yourself. And people have built their own sets that way. But if you can find an original military set, it's one of the great things to do. It's one of the great pieces to keep with your vehicles and have around. It's like I said, you just never know when a switch is going to get left on or lights are going to get left on, and you're going to have to jump start a vehicle real quick. So it's one of those things where as a military vehicle collector, it's one of those things that's probably a pretty important tool to keep in your trucks and around the area. So definitely find one and get your setup all going. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for following along. We're still here in winter. It's still cold, and hopefully before too terribly long, weather will start to break. It'll start to get a little bit warmer out, and we can get vehicles out, get down in the garage, start working on some stuff a little bit more, and get some projects going. So, like always, I want to thank you guys for following along, and of course, hit the like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, and like always, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks a lot, and enjoy.